You want clients to keep coming back, buying property after property? Well, those are investors. So, in this video, I'm going to share with you how you can attract and retain investors because it's very different than dealing with homeowners looking to buy a property. So, when it comes to investors, the backsplash is out the window. They don't need to talk about it. At the end of the day, there's a handful of things that a realtor needs to dial in if they choose to deal with investors because investors are not easy. So, there's plenty of reasons not to do it, but there's plenty of reasons to do it. Often people like repeat clients. They like being able to get to a yes or no pretty quick when it comes to a deal. And well, a lot of people, a lot of realtors, they want to invest sooner or later. And this is a great way to do it. There's big things that one needs to know in order to be really good at dealing with investors. One is speed. Investors move quickly. They need to make decisions in a very timely fashion because if they don't, they lose a deal. ARV accuracy, because if we blow the ARV, the whole thing's out the window. And I've seen plenty of investors and realtors advising investors get this one wrong, especially in a changing environment. What I mean by a changing environment is when say you're going to you're buying a home now and you're going to deliver it to market for sale on, make up a date, February 1st. Well, if you're going to deliver it on February 1st or May 1st or November 1st, oftentimes those have different prices associated with them. Oftentimes they have different days on market associated with them in the year, that all else being equal. So knowing that the ARV matters deeply. Third one is exit strategy. What is the exit strategy? Are they going to sell this or are they going to refinance this and keep it as a rental? Oftentimes that plays a different role in how an investor is going to look at this property because if they're going to keep the property, oftentimes they don't put as much into it. They're going to make it rental grade instead of home buyer grade or homeowner grade. And the last one is financing. Both you, the realtor, you certainly want to know that this investor, if you're going to spend time, energy, effort with these people, you want to know that they can actually close on a deal. They can afford the deal. Just like if you're going to go sell somebody a $500,000 home, you want to make sure they're either pre-approved or they got cash. So an investor is the same way. You want to know that they're pre-approved or they got cash. Cash is king, of course. The second best thing is pre-approved. What we do differently at Little Guy Loans is we're a hard money lender, which means we have a very different underwriting process than a traditional homeowner, traditional lender looking to buy a property. We don't pull tax returns. We're looking for investors who know how to get a deal done. They can bring some cash to close and they can work a project through. So oftentimes we're looking at their experience in their history of executing projects. So how do you attract and ultimately retain investor clients? Well, I can tell you the number one way to make sure for you to land a client for life is to find them a deal, whether it's on the market. The challenge there, of course, you're dealing with multiple buyers, or whether it's off the market. You're sourcing something either through your office, through somebody's got an opportunity, or you're sourcing something yourself, something has fallen into your lap, or you're proactively reaching out to people where you can bring them in and put together an off market deal. That is how you land a client for life who's an investor, because a deal is worth a tremendous amount of money for these folks. So I've shared with you the 4 ways to make sure you become investor friendly: speed to the deal, ARV accuracy, know the exit strategy so you can advise that investor when it comes to putting how much they put into a home. And the last one is make sure they are financially sound and can get across the finish line so you are not wasting your time. For instant pre-approval for your client, they can go to littleguyloans.com. We've got an instant pre-approval tab there to make sure they are good to go and you can go shopping with them. See you soon.